What's up, everybody? I'm M Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold. Actually, no, I'm not. It's Ghost Cult Keefy here with another edition of the Weekly Ritual. I'm going a little bit bonkers. It's been a crazy night, everybody. What's up? What's up? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. This is Ghost Cult Magazine's weekly streaming news, rock and metal news show where we cover festivals, tour date announcements, big happenings in the world of rock and metal and adjacent things, a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of fun. This entire intro will make more sense a little bit later in the broadcast, but thanks for being here. You'll see why if you hang out like in 10 more minutes. You'll see why, maybe 15. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I think I was muted, but anyway, I'm Keefy, and you're watching the Weekly Ritual. Nice job, partly on mute. All right. We just were streaming a little while ago. We did our Metallica little 5-minute video review. I just heard the new album. I dig it a lot. A lot of people are already divided. Go check out my review when you're done watching the stream. A lot of Metallica news, a lot of Metallica everything. Happy Metallica, new Metallica. Album day might be their last one. I don't know. Lars recently said he thinks they have 10 more years in them. I'm not so sure. They were looking pretty beat up tonight. I think this for the special premiere in the movie theater that I saw, they were shot on red cameras and they look hella old. Like, I am shuddered to think what I look like without all this good lighting and my studio set up here in my HQ, aka my bedroom. But thanks for being here another week. We have done about 180 of these in a row ever since the beginning of the pandemic. We may have missed a week or two, but yeah, this is our show. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of accounting, and give you the layout of the show. First and foremost, let me share my banner. As you know, most of our good stuff comes from ghostcultmag.com. We do a lot of videos and podcasts. We do a lot of video content across all the socials. Come to us for your music news needs and other things. So let's I'll shrink me into the corner and bring up this week's show, the deck, the all-important deck. All right. So, yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. We usually do announcements, and then we do some announcements, and we do, we talk about the major features to start the show off, things we have going on. We have a lot going on this week on the brand, and people we've interviewed, special features, special video content. We're going to throw all that at you that you can check out later. And then, yeah, hang out with us for the rest, the news and the stuff you probably came for. But yeah, first things first, we usually start with some announcements. And, Michael Reagan, who was the guitar player for Freely's Comet, he played with Peter Frampton, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. He passed away after a long illness, and there was a lot of condolences about him. He had been a hella good and reliable studio musician, but also a songwriting partner, a contributor, tour member. So just very, very sad that he passed away. Also, I wanted to point out, originally I'm from the New York City area, and anybody from the New York City area, you might know Long Island's Bull Spike Radio. It's discontinued now, but one of their co-founders, Josh Shatetsky, Jay Scorpion, known to those on the show, passed away. Very sad after a long illness, and our hearts go out to the Shatetsky family. Bull Spike Radio has been a fixture, or was until it recently, shut down, was a fixture of the tri-state area metal scene. Anytime you would go to a show on Long Island or Queens, they were there supporting. Countless bands covered, countless underground bands they helped to break from their underground metal radio show. So just a very sad bit of occurrence there to report. And let's see. What else happened this week? I want to continue to bring some attention to, again, the terrible tragedy we suffered a couple of weeks back in Illinois at the Morbid Angel show. A lot of those people are still recovering with many injuries that are going to keep them injured or out of work for a long time. So I think we're gonna, for the time being, we're gonna keep sharing those GoFundMes for the next, probably the rest of this month. There was a tornado that hit a Morbid Angel show in Chicago a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and one person died so far. Many others were injured. Luckily, none of the bands were hurt. Crypta's RV was destroyed, but basically they've continued the tour. Hats off to them for continuing to be professionals and come out and tour and play for people. But yeah, what a horrible thing to have happen. And again, many of these people, in addition to the concert goer who lost his life so far, a lot of people are ill and injured. So we've been sharing the GoFundMes from those folks. And anywho, just tough stuff. Tough all around. Oh, here's the housekeeping meme from Almost Famous that I wanted to share. Should I come back later? Yes, I'm in too truthful a mood. I got jokes. I'm always in too truthful a mood for everybody. In any case, here's some features here at Ghost Cult this week. We had an amazing interview we ran with the legend, guitar legend, Mr. Big co-founder, Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert has a new album, came out last week, that is a tribute album to Ronnie James Dio, where Paul plays all the instruments except drums, provided by exceptional drummer Billy Ray. And Paul does all of Dio's parts as guitar leads. It is an unbelievable record, and I had a great conversation with Paul. It was really fun. Witchfinder Doom is here on Instagram, and Paul is just wonderful, and we had a great catch up and a great chat about the album. And he was like the greatest guitar teacher of all time, Ronnie James Dio, because you try to play those melodies and it taught him all kinds of things. Check it out. There's some other stuff going on here at the channel. I wanted to remind everybody that Overkill's album is also out today, not just Metallica. We're going to get to New Music Friday at the end of the show. But we did an awesome interview with Bobby Blitz last week, and I just want people to check it out. He doesn't do a lot of interviews where he talks about his singing style and how he approaches writing vocals for metal. And he's been at it for 35, 40 years. So you should really check out this chat. My compadre and producer Omar Cordy did the interview. He is an Overkill expert, as am I, an OG fan and an OG expert. And in addition to this interview, we have some more Overkill content coming tomorrow. The Scorched is out now. We did a 5-minute review here on the channel this week, but also we've started a new series called Sonic Voyage. We did Metallica last week in expectation of all the Metallica news this week, and tomorrow we're going to run our discography run-through and history of Overkill, which I think is inherently interesting. So go pick up that Overkill album, buy it, spin it, check it out, and then also listen to our show and appreciate the whole history of one of the greatest bands in thrash metal. We also, as I said, ran our Metallica episode of Sonic Voyage. Sometimes I still have like magazine brain from when we used to have the magazine, so pretty cool. Thanks for everybody who's following on TikTok. Please give us a follow on TikTok. And also, if you are following along on Twitch, we could use some more support there. You'll see in a second. Again, just ran my 5-minute review of the new Metallica. If you haven't heard it yet and you want to check out my opinion first, it's raw. It's raw. 1.5 listens basically to the album. I'm going to give a deeper review over the weekend in one of my other areas of interest. The Ghost Cult Magazine podcast is a whole thing. We have podcasts over there wherever you listen to podcasts. This show will be a podcast. We also support the Heavy Business podcast, music marketing experts Curtis Dewar and Aaliyah Day interview legends from across music and teach bands how to unstuck themselves. That's not their slogan, that's mine, but yeah, great stuff. A metal marketing podcast by C Squared Music and Marketing. Like I said, I'm trying to do more stuff on Twitch. Here's a new Ghost Cult Twitch image, a little cover photo, a little fun of me. It's from one of my reaction videos. I look very surprised there. And so, yeah, if you're on Twitch and you're watching this on Twitch, please give us a follow. We're trying to bump up these numbers. And I'm going to stream much more eventually. So maybe weekly. You tell me what you want to hear from me. Would you want, like every couple of days, some music news? You want me to do some deep dives? You want me to do some discography run-throughs? You want me to tackle controversial topics? We do this show only once a week, but maybe if I stream on Twitch, I can do some more content for you guys. Salt in the Earth Records sent me a whole box of stuff, vinyl, CDs, magnets, stickers, and I am going to share that with you. Check out our contest on our site. This is open to the whole world. We're going to have 3 prizes, grand, first and second, basically, prizes. This is a giveaway, and feel free to enter and win some cool stuff. And in addition to the Salt of the Earth stuff they sent me, we are going to dig into our own personal trove of metal shirts and vinyl and CDs and download codes and pins and patches, and add an additional $25 to each bundle from Salt of the Earth. So you'll get the Salt of the Earth stuff and a grab bag of whatever else. Details to follow on how to enter. As I mentioned, I'm also part of the Glacially Musical podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing, where I join host Nick Cameron. We did a chaser episode. We usually do deep dives on bands, and then we do a chaser in between, just like a drink, eh? And we did the new Pink Floyd live album. Is this the best live album in Pink Floyd's history? Is it the best live album ever? You have to listen to the podcast to find out. Check it out. We're also going to have a special bonus episode this weekend where we review the Metallica album. So we're going to go through that again, where I'll take a bunch more listens tomorrow and have a better opinion of it. Or a worse opinion. I don't know. We'll find out. My favorite Oprah record is Host Reveries. Ha ha ha. I got jokes today. Dad jokes. Host Reveries. Ha ha. See if you guys are down to play along with my dad bod humor. Okay. Moving right along. This weekend, tomorrow, Decibel Metal and Beer Fest is taking over Philly. I have been several times in the past, and it was always a wonderful time. Suicidal Tendencies, Black Dahlia Murder on the first night of their first headline tour without Trevor Strnad. I Hate God, Incantation, all playing special sets. Mizmor, All Out War, Fuming Mouth, just so many killer bands. I wish we were covering it, actually. I'll be honest. I live on the West Coast now. I really wish I was going to this because I love all these bands deeply. Squala Grind. So many killer bands are at this thing. I think it's not sold out. You can still get tickets if you're in the Philly area. Definitely worth going. Even if you don't, there's like a beer and show ticket, and there's just a show ticket. So if you don't love craft beer and it's not for you, you can just go to the show and get merch from all the bands and hang out. It's intimate, man. It's only like 500-600 people, the whole thing. It's really special. Hats off to Decibel for doing a great job. And I believe it is once again at the Fillmore in Philly, which I love. Chris Pix 666 is here. What's up? Just a reminder of some festivals coming up beside Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. Punk Rock Bowling is coming back to Vegas next month. Lots of festivals are happening the last weekend of May in both the U.S. for Memorial Day weekend and I guess the rest of the world. So we've been focusing on those. Rancid, Bad Religion, Dropkick Murphys, again, Suicidal, Interrupters, Damned, L7, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, Face to Face, GBH, Exploited, Fishbone, Agnostic Front, and so many more. What a cool lineup. I have not been. Good morning over there in the UK, and good morning to all our friends all over the world. It is Friday everywhere else in the world, but in California and the West Coast, it'll be Friday in 10 more minutes. I went on a little late today. It's very ambitious to try to do 2 live streams in a day. I tip my backwards hat to y'all that you were able to do. Some of you stream multiple times a day. I was like, how do I do 2 in a day? But I did it. I did it. Also coming up next month, Danny Wimmer festivals. Welcome to Rockville. I forgot how fun this font is on this poster for Welcome to Rockville. Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Queens of the Stone Age, Avenged Sevenfold. Again, looking like Avenged Sevenfold. Evanescence, Pantera, Godsmack, Alice Cooper, Tool, Deftones, Incubus. Those are just the headliners. I do like that Boogie Nights font on this Welcome to Rockville poster, taking place in Daytona, Florida. And then also Memorial Day weekend, Sonic Temple. We will be covering that. Shout out to Wayne Edwards, who will be covering Sonic Temple for Ghost Cult. Tool and Godsmack on Thursday. Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age on Friday. Kiss and Rob Zombie on Saturday. Foo Fighters and Deftones on Sunday. I don't think we added this into the regular news, but I'll take this opportunity to say Foo Fighters are teasing a brand new song on their socials, and I wonder if they're not going to drop it today. And we are also awaiting the news for Foo Fighters of who their permanent drummer will be. We'll find out soon. We've been speculating every week here on the show. Also, speaking of suicidal tendencies, they announced 2 more festival appearances for the fall. Muddy Roots, which we covered last year and we've covered before and we love, and Blue Ridge Rock Fest, Suicidal, just tearing it up currently. I would love for them to go out and make a new record with the current band. But, yeah, killer stuff. ST for life, Suicyco MFs. Here's a fun tour taking place in September in Australia for my friends down under. Extreme and Living Colour on the same bill on a co-headline tour of Australia. I believe it's co-headlining Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, the typical cities, right? I don't think there are other major cities in Australia, but somebody help me out. New South Wales? Not sure. But yeah, Extreme and Living Colour. Not too shabby. When Nuno Betancourt is not busy playing with Rihanna at the Super Bowl because he's the lead guitarist and musical director of her band. I'm sure it pays a lot better than metal and rock. But yeah, that's a killer show. Living Colour is working on a new record. We're supposed to get a new Living Colour record. Always hype for Living Colour, one of my favorite bands ever. Mr. Bungle, holy cow. Mr. Bungle has announced their first headline tour and a legit tour dates of the East Coast in a very long time. They did a handful of new shows when they came back, a couple here and a couple there, but this is now legitimately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows. Might add some more. We'll find out. This is part of the reason why Dave Lombardo can't commit to being in Testament. He also has a solo record. He is also in Dead Cross with Patton. He's also he's got a band with his wife, Venom Morris. He's got a solo record coming out. Oh my gosh. Guy's so busy. But yeah, Mr. Bungle with special guest Battles. Battles is kind of like a dance music band. You might know John Stanier as the drummer of Battles. He was the original drummer of Helmet. And he is incredible, world-renowned drummer. As I mentioned, the Black Dahlia Murder kicking off their tour, the Verminous Remnant Tour. Say that 5 times fast. Black Dahlia Murder, Terror, Frozen Soul, Fuming Mouth, and Phobophilic. What an incredible lineup. I'll be honest, I'm getting a little old for 5 and 6 band bills. So this is 5. Maybe there are some locals on some of these shows. I'm getting a little long in the tooth for these very long shows. I gotta be real. But that's just me. I prefer like 2 or 3 bands tops. Dark Horizon Tour was announced this week. Motionless in White co-headlining within this moment. And I believe the other bands on the bill are Fit for a King, From Ashes to New, and a few others. And then at this special show in Council Bluffs, Iowa, Machine Head was added to the bill for the summer. So I wonder if that means Machine Head will have some late summer dates back in the States. We'll find out around their festival headlining stuff. Maybe they're going to do another run. They're about to kick off a new headline tour, so I'm very excited about that. But Motionless in White, and then this moment has been teasing new music as well. So I wonder if they're not ready to release something new. This just everybody that's a geek and a nerd in the progressive music world, nutted in their pants when they heard that the Dream Theater was announcing a tour of the U.S. with Devin Townsend and Animals as leaders. I believe Devi and Animals as leaders co-headlined years ago, but never have all 3 of these toured together that I know of. Maybe at a festival or something. Peter Frampton, who we saw a picture of at the top of the show, has announced his Never Say Never tour. This is a poster for the Paramount Long Island. He said he was never going to tour again. He announced a full headline tour, guys. 70-something years old. And do you feel like we do? Do you feel like he does? You're going to find out. Frampton, solid, legend, great guy. I saw a thing. I didn't add it to the show, but I saw that Gene Simmons became ill at a Kiss show yesterday or the last few days, and he was dehydrated, and he sat down for half the show. Y'all, If you're over 70-something years old, you got to baby your body. You got to baby yourself. You can't do these things. We don't want anybody to die on stage or anything like that. No matter how you feel about Gene or Kiss, like, you don't wish bad on anybody, man. Like, it's time to hang it up. So this is the last year for Kiss. Like 8 more months of Kiss shows, and that's it. So, take care of yourself out there, Gene. This tour looks amazing. Rollo Tomasi, who had one of my favorite albums of last year, and the Callous Dowboys and Pound are going to hit the West Coast, starting in Denver. And I am probably going to catch this show in San Francisco. I see it's playing Sacramento and San Francisco, so I'm going to try to catch this in San Francisco. But that font is little. But yeah, what a tour. That's a pretty cool, weird, progressive metal, math rock, instrumental, crazy metal. That's going to be a lot of fun. Callous Dowboys are fun. A lot of people are talking about them. I love Rollo Tomasi. Great band. Great band from the UK. UK has just been killing it on all levels, all kinds of metal. What's going on out there, San Francisco? Gosh. Just a reminder, the Headbangers Boat is coming up in October. Lamb of God is headlining with Mastodon, Testament, Hatebreed, Gore, Municipal Waste, Shadows Fall, God Forbid, Lacuna Coil, Gate Creeper, Violence, Fit for an Autopsy, Malevolence, Bleed from Within. Perhaps some more bands are getting added. I'm not sure, but that's Halloween, October 31st to November 4th, from Miami to Nassau in the Bahamas. I believe the cruise is sold out, but there's a waiting list, and people usually drop off these things. So check it out. Disturbed is kicking off their Take Back Your Life tour, coming up in just a week and a half, 2 weeks from today. So Disturbed booked in a massive tour all across the U.S. If you're a big Disturbed fan, this is for you. This is a fun tour. The very perfectly named Prognosis Festival. This is probably more of a festival than a series of shows. But let's talk about Prognosis Festival taking place next weekend in the UK. Hawkwind, Riverside, Ross Jennings, Voivod, Rosalie Cunningham from the band Person, who is marvelous, Sylvain, who we love here at Ghost Cult, Soen, PG Lost, and a bunch more bands. So I don't know if Soen is playing or they're just hanging out and chatting about prog, but that looks like a lot of fun. I'd like to go to that. Dave Hill, who sometimes does some metal stuff, is doing basically a tour of him doing comedy and guitar stuff. So check out Dave Hill. He's kicking off in Glens Falls, New York in 2 weeks. Schenectady, and then Europe. So I guess those first 2 shows are warm-ups for him to go to Europe. Best of luck to you, Dave. We'd love to catch up with you sometime, pal. We've met you in person. Always a nice guy. Speaking of tours, that Morbid Angel tour, Dave Davidson of Revocation, who you're seeing a picture of here if you're on YouTube or Twitch with us, broke his hand, and he will not quit the tour. He is touring with a huge cast on his arm, and he's just screaming, and the band is playing as a 3-piece basically, because who's going to replace that guy? But props to my man Dave. Get that hand looked at, and hopefully it's worth it. But Dave, Revocation's amazing, and Dave is great. They had a killer record last year. That tour is going through a lot of rough stuff. Please support them with your dollars and your attendance if you can. All right, it's time for the news. The rest of the news, you know what's coming. When you see this meme, you know it's the time for the rest of the news. What else can I say? It's Metallica week. Lots of Metallica to talk about. 72 Seasons is out now. We have a full review coming at Ghost Cult Mag. I did a video review here on the channel. They've been on Jimmy Kimmel all week. They played there tonight. Video is probably already up on Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube. The band also announced their global premiere in the movie theaters, which I just came from right before this a few hours ago. They announced their marching band contest for whom the band tolls. And they announced these 2, basically you go back to the movies in August on 2 different nights and see Metallica's one weekend in Arlington, Texas, where they will play a different set list every night. So if you love Metallica and you love Metallica live, they will get you back into the movie theaters for one of these 2 dates. I think it's pretty cool. I had a great time tonight. It was wonderfully done. There's going to be behind the scenes stuff and all kinds of things. So I think it's pretty damn cool, gotta say. See if anybody's here in the comments. They are not. So I will just continue along. All right. Metallica everything. What do you think of the new Metallica? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care? Let's find out. Drop a comment. The real biggest news of the week, beside Metallica, is the comeback of Dethklok. And we knew this was coming for a while. We got a new song a while ago. We heard some news from Brendan Small that he was, repairing his relationship with the Adult Swim has own Metalocalypse, and he couldn't just bring it back or keep doing it. He needed to work that out legally. And so Metalocalypse, Dethklok is back. They announced 2 new albums, a new movie, and a huge tour, which we saved to talk about now, even though I could have put it in the touring section, because I think the bigger story, I'm stoked that they're touring, but the bigger story is 2 albums, including a soundtrack album to their film they're coming out with, of new music. And they announced the Baby Clock tour, where they're going to co-headline with Baby Metal. So many people mad. 500 comments on social media are mad at this tour, on our videos, on our tweets, on our Facebook. Unbelievable, guys. Pick your battles. Be mad at more important things than Dethklok and Baby Metal co-headlining. It's actually good for music to have this. And Jason Richardson, shred guitar expert extraordinaire, who plays in All That Remains, is going to be the opening act. He's going to come out and do his solo show. So I'm pretty stoked for this. I think Dethklok's great live. Baby Metal's interesting. Even if you don't get it or you don't like them, they're interesting, if nothing else. Blaze Bayley underwent triple bypass surgery on Thursday, April 13th. We are still waiting for some news. His management has been very good about keeping up with the fans. He had a heart attack a week and a half ago in the UK. Canceled his immediate tour plans for the end of March and early April. He has some summer touring planned. The goal was to get the triple bypass, recover, and then make a judgment call about touring again this summer. Blaze, we love you, and get well soon, please. This is horrible. Gimme Radio is going out of business. They are going dark on April 29th. You best know them from Gimme Metal and now Gimme Country, and they started a Gimme Punk channel. They also had like a Gimme Metal TV. They were in business for 5+ years. Some of their principal investors included Dave Mustaine, Jessica Pimentel from Brujeria and Orange is the New Black, and Brian Slagle from Metal Blade Records. They also had angel investing from major investors. It takes a lot of money to run an enterprise like this, a social radio station that has integration with Spotify and a merch store and all those things. I have spent a lot of money buying merch and vinyl from Gimme Metal. I was proud and honored to be a Gimme Metal host twice. If you are in the Gimme Metal brigade, you can go back in the vault and listen to the 2 Ghost Cult episodes and even still tip us, tip the DJ. We appreciate it. But yeah, it's heartbreaking. Gimme Metal and Gimme Radio had such a wonderful community that was constantly uplifting and supporting underground bands, and especially during the worst of the pandemic, Gimme Radio and Gimme Metal put on a lot of these bands and gave them shows and a platform to really promote themselves and share a lot of good times with listeners. So I'm personally deeply hurt by this. It really hurts. It hurts for all the people involved in Gimme Radio who are losing their jobs and losing their dream. So yeah, what a rough one. What a rough one. You can still listen to Gimme Radio for a few more weeks. They're doing just a blitz of shows to end the best of all their stuff ever. And they still have some new stuff they're supporting and putting out, including a marathon of stuff the last weekend. So, definitely check out the end of Gimme Metal, even though it's going away. Here's why I have the Buffalo Check flannel on. Here is my Avenged Sevenfold story. And if you're watching this and you can see shadows in the hat and the glasses and the Buffalo Check, I'm a lot chubbier than him, but I think I'm better looking. I got a cool beard. He doesn't. Pretty clean cut there. Do I look like M Shadows? I don't know. I probably don't. But anyway, Avenged Sevenfold announced the second leg of their Life is But a Dream tour. But as interesting as that is, what's really I think interesting is Avenged Sevenfold is putting out their own new ticketing system for their fans called Ticket Pass. You know, Avenged Sevenfold has been involved in NFTs and the blockchain for a long time with their Death Bats Club. Personally, not very inspired by NFTs myself. Not a big thing for me, but their fans are ravenous for this stuff. I know there's a few successful NFT people out there. Slipknot was doing tickets as an NFT. September Morning is excellent at the NFT game. But Avenged Sevenfold is launching a new ticket program. They collaborated with Ticketmaster. So as I said last week when we talked about Ticketmaster and Live Nation, they're not really changing anything. They're just going to have to be forced to be more transparent before the U.S. government shuts them down. But we'll see what happens. There's an explainer video on Avenged Sevenfold's YouTube where you can see M Shadows talking about Ticket Pass. And basically it's like buy your tickets early before they're sold on Ticketmaster. Get them early. Get early access to tickets and experiences. They're going to be at a set price. You will know all the time what the price is. It will not change. You will get your ticket. And if you have to resell it, they're going to try to weed out the scalpers and the bots. It's going to be within their network. So it's not going to be, supposedly not going to be able to be compromised. So I understand they're still working with Ticketmaster, which sucks, but like I think it's a good idea that some major band, and they are a major band, they have 2 arena shows and a ton of other shows coming up this year. And the first leg of the tour, they're not using this plan for it yet, but the second leg of the tour that just got announced that's going on sale soon is going to involve their new ticket program. So I think it's interesting. Good luck to them. Ghost, in a story we were teasing for weeks, we had a hunch Ghost was teasing themselves, they were teasing the fans that they were going to drop new music. They dropped a brand new single and a video for a cover of the Genesis 1990s hit song Jesus, He Knows Me, which used to poke fun at televangelists. Still very meaningful today. And they announced their new EP coming right away in just a month, Phantomime, coming out on their Loma Vista recording label. And it's all covers. And Ghost is about to kick off their headline tour with Monomarth very soon. So I think that's also fun. Seven Dust announced a new album. They dropped an awesome new song and a claymation video. Remember when claymation videos were all the thing? Tool with Sober and Sepultura with Rata Bahata off of Roots in 1996. Seven Dust has carried on that tradition with their new single Fence. It is hilarious. It is subversive. It is smart. And the song's killer. We love Seven Dust here at Ghost Cult, and we're super excited. They signed to Napalm Records, one of the coolest record labels out there. They have Alter Bridge. They have Cradle of Filth. They have Devil Driver. I think they have Soulfly. So very cool. Congratulations to Seven Dust on the new record deal, and we're looking forward to new Seven Dust music. Under Oath has finally released a statement about the parting of their ways with their former guitarist. Didn't say too much, but it doesn't sound good. They were mum for a while right after. This is kind of dirty business when you're in a band for a long time with somebody and you guys are not getting along. It could be ugly sometimes. So, have care. Have care all around. They made it sound pretty bad, but I don't know. What are you going to do? Anyway, Veil of Maya has a new album coming out. They dropped a brutal new song, Mother Part 4, which indicates Mother 1, 2, 3. But I saw the track listing and I don't quite think that tracks. But Mother is their new album coming out on Sumerian Records. The video and the song are insanely heavy. Veil of Maya, one of the leaders, original leaders of progressive metal and gent of the last 15, 20 years. So they are back in that ass with new music. Let's see. 2 minutes to late night. We spent a lot of time last weekend talking about Easter. And obviously, Ghost put their song out on Easter on purpose. Jesus, He Knows Me. That was on purpose to thumb their nose at religious people. But I got to shout out 2 minutes to late night for, as they usually do, assembled by their Patreon. They put together an awesome cover of Creeping Death by Metallica. I know you're tired of Metallica. Neely Brosh, Landfill from Municipal Waste, Alex Skolnick of Testament, Phil Mazurkowitz of Cannibal Corpse, all covering Creeping Death, and Arsenio Hall changing the lyrics of Creeping Death by Metallica. Changing the lyrics to a classic song is normally blasphemy for a serious person like myself, but Got to give it up to Passover, one of the best Jewish holidays of all the Jewish holidays. And it's all Passover-centric lyrics. And so if you're in on it and you have some Jewishness you might be harboring, awesome. You will understand all the lyrics. If you don't, ask a friend. Ask a friend. Spirit Box has announced Josh Gilbert has joined the band as a permanent bassist and backup vocalist. They are currently on tour. They played a new song on tour. They did a No Doubt cover. So, and they basically said there's new music coming soon and it might be a whole album. So we'll see. They teased it that they have a new record already done, basically new music. Hopefully it's a whole record. They did Rotoscope last year, which was the EP after their previous album, Eternal Blue, their full-length debut. So more Spirit Box on the way, and with Josh Gilbert. I hope he's going to get to, he used to be in As I Lay Dying, and he's a killer bassist and singer and songwriter, so I hope he gets to contribute. Black Sabbath, the Dio version of Black Sabbath they're putting out a new reissue of Mob Rules, and they put out like an alternative version of Mob Rules. Pretty cool. We love Dio here. Again, Dio all day, every day. And yeah, we got robbed, man. Ronnie got sick. They would have continued on, I think, for a lot of records. And I don't know that Black Sabbath would have made 13 if Ronnie hadn't passed from cancer. So tough stuff. There's also that Rock for Ronnie Fest coming up in LA soon. We'll talk more about that next week. They announced some more guests for that. So very cool. Fear Factory is on tour currently with Static X. Got about another week to catch them. They are coming back up around here. I don't know if I can make it out to the show midweek with my work schedule, but I'd like to. Fear Factory dropped an instrumental demo of a brand new song with no vocals yet, but it's called Roboticist. Of course it is. And just Fear Factory, everything. We interviewed Dino not too long ago before they announced the new singer, Milo Silvestro. We interviewed Reese Fulber recently from Frontline Assembly about his work with Dino and Fear Factory as a producer and contributor. So very excited about new stuff from Fear Factory. Today I have 2 new reissues coming, or re-recordings, reissues, coming up later in the spring. So very cool times for Fear Factory. Lots of activity, as Dino promised in our interview. Beavis and Butthead got 2 new reaction figures, the third wave of reaction figures from Super 7. You know, if you watch this show, we love Funkos. Here's a Funko of me, in case you wanted to see. This is actually a Funko Pop that was made at the Funko headquarters of me. That's pretty badass. And Super 7 we love also, and they just put out new Beavis and Butthead Super 7s, but they're also Headbangers Ball themed Super 7 Beavis and Buttheads, because let's face it, the best Beavis and Butthead was the original Beavis and Butthead, where they watched all the metal videos and clowned on them sometimes, and other times loved them. So they basically helped White Zombie get rich and famous, and that's a story we once talked about with White Zombie's producer, Michael Alongo. Their A&R representative and producer, and he signed Metallica to a major label and all that stuff. So that was fun. Maybe we'll share that link here. It's a good story. The Stone Eye is coming out with a new album, and they dropped a brand new single, Not My Circus. Killer stoner doom band from Pennsylvania. They put out a split a couple of years ago with Moths, who we're huge fans of. So greatly looking forward to new music from The Stone Eye. This is Pupil Slicer, who had a brand new single today, and they also are announcing a new album. There's a lot of activity. Again, so many killer bands. This is the season where tours and new albums get announced a lot. So brace yourselves for a lot of new stuff coming soon. Alan Reinberg, Life of Agony and Spoiler NYC has been just whooping it up with his book series, his adult coloring book series, The Beauty of Horror. Volume 6 came out this week. Support Alan. He's a friend to Ghost Cult. We love him. We love Life of Agony. And Beauty of Horror recast classics of art, classical artworks in the horror genre. Classic horror, classic art kind of mashup, along with Alan's central character, Guliana. We've interviewed Alan many times, including at New York Comic Con, about his artwork and stuff. And he drew the Life of Agony logo, and he's done countless shirts and posters for bands, all kinds of fun stuff. So shout out to Alan. Congrats on the new book. He already has 5 and New York Times bestsellers. Hopefully this is going to be 6. Live Nation and Ticketmaster again continue to grind everybody's gears. Again, if you buy tickets, and I urge you to pay attention to the money you're spending on tickets. I don't want to dog non-Live Nation and Ticketmaster people too badly, but there was a personal situation where a friend of mine is trying to buy tickets to a show I'm going to so we could go together, and they were like, what's up with all these fees? And the box office person tried to say like, oh, you know, it's fees from the bank, or it's, you know, we have to charge them. No, it's like a lot of these smaller venues are also crims, and, you know, I understand that everybody's struggling to survive right now, and touring is really hard, but it's like you're cheating the fans by overcharging them more than you should. And I don't think the bands are very aware on a lower level. But Live Nation and Ticketmaster continuing their machinations. Again, we used to take advertising money from Live Nation. We did so to support a band like Rodruna. I think that's inherently cool, but Live Nation and Ticketmaster are also part of the problem. Pay attention when there's all these shows and festivals we announced earlier. Pay attention to what you're paying for. Pay attention to your fees. Pay attention to your bank. Pay attention to don't let anybody take your bag, yo. Get between one person and their money. All right, continuing on. We're almost done here, folks. This is Mournful Congregation. OMG, new Mournful Congregation single, The Forbidden Abysm. They got a new album coming out on 20 Bucks Spin. They are finishing their EP series. Their last one was Exuviae of the Gods. Their new one is Exuviae of the Gods Part 2. And yeah, that's coming soon. Good times. From Mournful Congregation, one of the best black metal, black and death doom kind of band. Multi-hyphenate things. But yeah, it's on the 20 Bucks Spin label. We're fans. Did you see the trailer for The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel and of Marvel of the MCU series, as well as the Disney Plus show Miss Marvel? And also kind of WandaVision. The Marvels dropped their first trailer, and the theme song of the trailer was Intergalactic by Beastie Boys. Perfect mashup of the story of the Marvels and intergalactic and interplanetary travel and war and espionage and intrigue, and the Beastie Boys earworm jam from 1998's Hello Nasty album. We love those guys. What else? New Music Friday. It is New Music Friday. It's officially Friday here in California. We're almost done here, folks. A couple more minutes of the show. New Music Friday. What else is coming out that's not Metallica and Overkill? Well, quite a lot. Black Orchid Empire is coming out with their new album. Their second or third, I think, on Season of Mist. LA Guns has a new record. There's 2 versions of LA Guns. Not sure which one this is with the new album. Well, let's just run down the list. 1782. Clamor Luciferi, Heavy Psych Sounds. It's a stoner doom band. Altari has a new record on Spart Records. Archon Angel, their second record, is coming out on Frontiers SRL. Ash Rain is coming out on Metalville Records. They got a new record. Biohazard's got a live in Europe record release coming out on Dissonance Music, Urban Discipline, and No Holds Barred, which was their live album. We mentioned Black Orchid Empire, Blazon Right, which is some killer heavy metal, Wild Rites, and Ancient Songs. Dorheinsgard, I probably said that wrong, but they are an incredible avant-garde metal band. You can go head over to Ghost Cult, read a review of that. Coming out on Peaceville Records. From Fall to Spring is a metalcore band coming out on Rise Records. The Hell Freaks is coming out on Napalm Records. Holy Moses, probably their final album, Invisible Queen, is coming out on Fire Flash Records, also Atomic Fire. Infected Rain has their debut DVD, The Devil's Dozen, from their live stream about 1.5 years ago. The Infinity Ring is coming out. That's kind of an avant-garde, soundscapey, synthy band, gothy synth band. Nemesis and Nativity on Profound Lore. Jason Bieler, you know his name. He's incredible. Jason Bieler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra. Postcards from the Asylum, self-release. Jesus Peace, incredible hardcore band from Pennsylvania. So Unknown on Century Media Records. Lucifer Star Machine. Macabre is having a reissue. Sinister Slaughter. Macabre, one of the greatest original old-school death metal bands. Mike Tramp from White Lion, Sons of White Lion, More to Scold, a reissue, classic thrash band, also on Peaceful Records. We talked about Overkill, we talked about Metallica, Poison Ruin, Harvest on Relapse Records, Squid Pisser, My Tadpole Legion on 31G. That's a great label we love a lot. Vesuvian, Emergence, self-released, Void Ceremony, $20 spin. Zozobra Savage Masters reissue, which I have and I showed here on the video a few weeks back. And let's give a shout out to some New York black metal, Dementation, Chapter 6, Burning Rebirth, self-released. Some friends of friends, and we only try to support our friends of friends here at Ghost Cult whenever we can. And so the final thing at Ghost Cult this week is the mailbag, and this is a lot of fun. I already spoiled it if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, but I like to share something I got in the mail, something really cool or something from my collection every week. And I just got this in the mail, and I shared it, I think, already on the Glacially Musical podcast, but just guessing we don't always overlap on audiences. So if you're seeing this again, forgive me, but if you're not, it's for a good reason. I got this awesome 7-inch in the mail from Poison Idea. Poison Idea is the legendary political hardcore band from Portland, Oregon. You might know them. This song is The Badge, made infamous by Poison Idea, but also made famous by Pantera and their metallic cover of the song on the Crow soundtrack in 1994, one of the best soundtracks of all time. This is an awesome 7-inch they sent me. And so this is a new version of The Badge. I'm showing the wrong side. This is actually the front cover. I didn't know until I put the picture up. This is the front cover, and this is the back cover. And so what happened is Jerry A., the Poison Ideas retired. Jerry Lang, a.k.a. Jerry A., is the frontman and founder of the band. And he was approached by a fan of Poison Idea who is a cop in Portland who loves Poison Idea and recognizes that there's a weird dichotomy. Are all cops bad? Is it always ACAB? You don't know. So Jerry became friends with this police officer, and that guy was musically gifted and did a new version of The Badge. So this 7-inch, which is coming out for Record Store Day next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. We will do a feature on Record Store Day next week, maybe on the show, maybe separately. We'll find out. And they remixed and redid this song on this cool 7-inch. And it actually comes with a story about the song, about the liner notes written by Jerry, new liner notes. And I have an interview coming up with Jerry next week, so we'll be talking about this again. But yeah, a very cool thing. And they sent me one. I'm really grateful they sent me one. And I believe this is 220 of 1,000 only copies. So if you're heading into the store for Record Store Day and you love hardcore punk, you might want to pick this up. And that is our show. I am so glad we got to the end. I am beat after 2 live streams today. Sorry to be a whining biatch, but thank you so much for being here. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And if you're going to play as them shadows, play it safe and stay as metal as humanly possible. I am Keefy for ghostcultmag.com, and I'm out.